Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Crust Flopcast.
Fuck you.
Joining me, as always, my lovely co-host, the controversial cat maid, and the runner of the Murder Bowl Society. It is Damo.
Hello, yeah.
How you doing, Dobles and chicken nuggets?
Where can people find you?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/it's Damo, as well as over on Blueski, TikTok, it's Damo TV as well, so you can go and see and catch up on all the shenanigans of clips that have been made on my end as well.
Yeah. Man, I'm not gonna bullshit. It's been an interesting week, like a couple of weeks for gaming news.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Especially with a particular old game possibly getting a remaster, with more and more information coming out of the works that saying that that possible leaks are actually legit.
Oh yeah.
So, normally, folks, one thing we've always tried to do is, if we do come across anything that's basically talking about rumors, we always say, hey, these are rumors. We've not been able to verify whether this is true or not. Still not been able to verify if it's fully true or not, but based on the information that we've been seeing, it is starting to look more and more true as time goes on. So look forward to what I'm talking about momentarily. Hey, Ivy.
Hi, Ivy.
Hey, Beth. Hey, Meta. God, all sorts
Yes,
of people.
hello, everyone.
Yeah, everyone's turning up today. Woohoo! Then again, it does help the fact that I'm actually starting to promote this shit a lot more. But yes, welcome on in. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend. I know we had a bit of a fun Easter weekend.
Yeah. There's definitely something.
Yep. I probably think I don't need to speak much on it because I'll speak about it tomorrow. On my stream. I think probably the best quote to take from the shenanigans was merely a question. What is edging? If you know, you know. I'd personally say that one quote right there literally made the whole evening. I would personally say. Ivy, here we go.
Right. And Beth's like, fuck you!
Look, why are you getting so hostile, Beth? It's not like I'm talking about a certain character of yours that I refer to as overcooked chicken.
Watch it!
We end up in a PvP game, Beth is coming for me straight up. She's going for my throat.
100% she's coming for your ass, dude.
She's going for my throat. And, like Ace Ventura, I'll say, come on!
Oh, boy.
But with that being said, though, as usual, folks, you know what's coming next. Damo, what the fuck you been up to the past couple of weeks?
I've been playing some Baldur's Gate. I've been playing some RuneScape Dragon Wild, the Jackbox and Naughty Pack. That was actually over on the weekend on Saturday, actually.
Oh,
obviously, some Tavern Talk where a bunch of us have gotten together and done some voice acting towards that.
You can tune in over on Damo's channel on Fridays for those.
That is also very true. See what else?
Hey, this wasn't my own shit this time.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
I try and shameless plug other people, and I still get moaned. Same as when I predict things, I get moaned at.
But that is different though. Anyway, as well as some Honkai Star Rail, because obviously I've been taking your advice and stuff. So I'm still trying to level up Bayou, but I've also got her stuff, like her relics, maxed out as well, so that's fine.
Nice.
About oh yeah, and tape 2 for Bloom and Rage as well. I'll actually be giving a review on both RuneScape Dragon Wilds and tape 2 of Bloom and Rage. Very excited for it, not gonna lie. Oh, and also some buckshot roulette, not gonna lie. Does Cards Against Humanity count, because we did that on Saturday?
Technically yes, but we don't need to go into detail on that.
Yeah, we don't need to go into detail about that. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. So what the fuck have you been doing, Chaos?
Well, Damo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
YouTube, don't ban me.
Naughty, naughty piece of dragon.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna stuff that crust?
Nah, baby, I keep it safe. I like to give you extra toppings. Do you want mozzarella or cream cheese?
I don't know. Maybe some cream cheese would be nice. But as long as you make sure it comes with that extra sausage.
Now, what are you talking about? Are we talking cheap Tesco brand? Or are we talking Savoy? Are we talking... I'm gonna stop this bit. Just because I'm running out of ideas.
Like, if there's any,
Animators.
people that, animators, specifically on the NSFW side, that want us, we promise we won't let you down, and you're just gonna piss your sides with laughter and stuff like that.
Quick,
that is my current dream.
Actually, you know what? Any animators that want to animate these moments that happen during the Flopcast, you have my permission to do so. And please do send these to me, because I want to see that shit.
Same here. Same here. I want to do some, I want to voice some X-rated anime. Like, just saying, so hit me up.
I need to introduce you to an anime that's just come out. That seems very sus and borderline at the same time, but also kind of has kind of had me sort of pissing myself laughing with this ridiculousness. Involves a yandere dark elf.
Of course.
Hey, how often do you actually come across a yandere dark elf?
Not often, but of course.
Yeah. But yeah, what have I been up to? Well, those of you that have been paying attention know exactly what I've been up to. I've been obviously doing Pokemon Pocket, obviously trying to get some more cards. We have been doing definitely a fair amount of Xenoblade Chronicles X, which we will hopefully finish this week. Final Fantasy 16, and obviously got to go through probably one of the best fights I've seen so far of the entire game. Yeah.
Nice.
Obviously, I'm continuing on with Miitopia and having more fun on that. Definitely need to get more people and their avatars on that at some point. I have also started back up playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, because I need to finish that because I had a lot of fun with that. I've also been dabbling in just a couple of other little games just to try and build up stuff. I've been doing Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance just to try and build up levels on some of my demons that I've got. Obviously did Buckshot Roulette also over the course of the weekend. And proceeded to get my head blown off completely. While I had to do, in grand total on Saturday, over 120 squats. Mum looked at me and went, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" What is with you and your sister doing like random exercises? Well, it's the only way I'm keeping my legs going.
mean, that's fair though.
Like, I'm not exactly going out working. I'm not exactly going outside and, mining or like anything like that. Because I'm not Steve.
Steve.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm so sick and tired of the Minecraft movie memes that have been literally appearing left, right, and fucking center. It's been it's been everywhere, and it's so damn annoying already. Everyone just screaming "Chicken Jockey" and "I am Steve." It's like, if I hear someone scream "I am Steve," I am going to delete you.
I am Steve.
And blocked, unfriended, kicked out of the server. Goodbye. Here's the thing. At this point, I had no intention of going and seeing the movie. Any chance of me actually possibly going to see it has literally just been stopped now because of everyone else. The memes are literally
The only reason why I would personally watch the movie
Jack
is
Black.
literally because Jack Black.
Yeah. That's the only reason. Again, that would be the only reason I would either. But the fact is, it's literally like, it's just everywhere. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. The adult Happy Meals of the Minecraft movie also haven't helped.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Seriously, there are now adult Happy Meals at McDonald's that contain the Minecraft Lego.
I'm gonna say this,
things.
like, Minecraft's like a fucking disease. It flares up for a spell, becomes popular, and then dies down into some form of obscurity, and then something will happen that will flare it back up again.
Well, yeah.
So, bro, we need a fucking ointment.
Minecraft is one of those, like, the game's not gonna die anytime soon.
I even heard some people say, like, oh, it's the modern day equivalent of RuneScape. I'm thinking, you want to say that to RuneScape players?
That's I still haven't seen the movie, but I have been seeing the Chicken Jockey Theatre reactions on TikTok. Oh boy.
Oh, Jesus. Although, I did see something today that kind of shows a lot of my old school humour on YouTube that someone had uploaded onto YouTube, which I'll hopefully show people later on. Let's see, I've also been dabbling in trying to be more active on social media.
Yes.
I've been trying to post a lot more. I've been trying to promote also the streams and that. I've been up in my game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And obviously getting more clips uploaded onto the Clicky Clock as well. I had someone actually before we actually get started, I actually had someone on TikTok actually ask of one of my Metopia clips. They said, "What game is this?"
Yeah, I saw that.
That shows how little people know of Metopia. It's like more people need to be aware of Metopia because it's a fun game. It is it is dumb and it's stupid, but it's still fun. If you own a Switch, you need to at least get that. It is worth it. But with that being said, though, folks, enough of our personal bullshit. It is time to get on with what you are here for what we've actually been coming across. Now, obviously we've come across various things, and
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to start off on a bit of a rant,
Oh boy.
just to get out of the way, so then we can actually get on with it.
Okay.
So, I was obviously looking up various things for obviously to find for the Flopcast, because it's been here and there at first. I came across something talking about the PlayStation Plus games that are for this month, which are RoboCop, Digimon Story, the Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, and another game which I can't remember. And, well, this is from TrueTrophies.com, so I imagine it's a PlayStation-focused article. And, well, the title of the article says PS Plus saw a big player dip in April 2025, and it's Digimon's fault.
Oh, I remember you talking about this, yeah.
So as you can imagine, that obviously got me riled up. It's like, hang on a fucking minute. So I read the art. So basically, the article goes on to basically say that RoboCop actually did real good, but because of how little interest there's been for Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, has just been so ridiculous. Yeah, this has been literally so little people wanting to play it. It's like, well, let me break it down for you. Alright? It's not Digimon's fault. That game, alright? Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory have been out for quite some time. Some people would even say Hacker's Memory is a sequel, although it's an interquel because it actually runs essentially side by side with the original.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could say it's an OVA, so to speak, if you were to put it in anime terms.
Yeah, technically.
But at the same time, it's like it's not that game's fault yet. Like that, so little people have gotten it from PlayStation Plus. Because do you know why? Because anyone that would be interested in Digimon would have already gotten the game. Ergo, it's not Digimon's fault that people have not really wanted to get the games on PlayStation Plus. It's whoever decided to put it on PlayStation Plus in the first place.
Yeah.
So don't blame Digimon for someone else's dumb decision. And I think those of us on PlayStation can actually say the games that have been on PlayStation Plus have been very lackluster for some time.
Yeah.
They've not exactly been fucking great. There have been some, obviously, that have been like, okay, this one's caught my interest. I've not really played it, but it'll be good to have on the library. Whenever there's PlayStation Plus, I always at least add them to the library, so it's like, okay, I've got something to play if I feel like doing something random. And I can guarantee that's what it's like for most people that own a PlayStation and they have PlayStation Plus. They do that. And apparently, Digimon Story Hacker's Memory, I'm just going to refer to it by Hacker's Memory now. Apparently, it is one of the lowest downloaded or played games of PlayStation Plus. It's not the lowest, it's one of. And I looked into this and outside this article, and technically it is true, but technically it doesn't fucking matter because the game, like most people will literally play the game for the game itself, and again, they will have already got the game. You either own it on the Switch or one of the other systems that is actually on. So it's like, I get what they were thinking. That would be a good idea, obviously because of Time Stranger coming out this year. Obviously they thought, hey, let's try and actually like get some interest by putting a Digimon game on it. I personally think they should have gone with the first game, to be honest, if you're going to do that. Because sequels don't exactly... If you're going to throw a sequel on PlayStation Plus, that's not exactly going to do well because it's going to confuse people. Hacker's Memory is an exception to that because technically it's its own story and doesn't spoil you from the main. Despite running in the same universe as the original. So, I do take liberty, but I do sort of like... I'm quite pissed off with the fact that some douchebag has literally gone ahead and thrown the title on there like, oh, it's Digimon's fault. When in actuality, it's not Digimon's fault. It's whoever fucking put it on PlayStation Plus in the first place. So, to the creator of that article, maybe choose your, words carefully. And, maybe, don't go blaming Digimon for some dumbass's fucking decision. Maybe not question Digimon, maybe question PlayStation. If you're meant to be a website that talks about PlayStation stuff, maybe question them. As many of you know, I'm a Digimon fan, but I'm also a Pokemon fan. And unless I see a valid reason, unless I see a valid argument, like people obviously talked about how the last couple of gens for the Pokemon games haven't exactly been the best, and I will agree. There have been good points, but there have also been a fair amount of bad points, and they do need to up their game. That I will openly admit. And I have said. Even when I played the games on stream, I have openly said that, as Damo and many of you can attest.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is very rare that we get Digimon games over here because of how popular Pokemon is over here. And the fact that some people have literally said, oh, Digimon is just a Pokemon clone, when it fucking ain't.
Mm-hmm.
It by no means is a Pokemon clone. And the fact that people have tried that argument for years is ridiculous. So, for those of you that are going ahead and blaming, those of you that believe this and say it's Digimon's fault for this, educate yourself. For those that actually agree that Digimon is not to blame, thank you, and you're probably also a fan of Digimon, and good, and hopefully see you playing Time Stranger when it comes out at some point this year. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Yeah. You thought I was gonna go off more, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what we're kind of used to be honest.
Well, it was more of a personal. It was more of a personal rant, not a not one of the
Like
bigger.
full, yeah.
Yeah, not talking about something where there's like massive repercussions across the entire gaming community.
Mm.
I'm looking at you, Xbox and PlayStation, and technically Nintendo at this point. Stop being dicks.
Yes.
Alright, Damo?
Yes. We're gonna start this one off with a moment. So this was from the Gamer. It was published on the 14th of this month. Yeah, this month. About Schedule 1 coming under fire for one of its achievements. Why? Because apparently it's incredibly racist. I'm gonna sit here right now and say I have not played the game. I know people who have because it pops up in the corner every now and again.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's gonna be that type of game, to be honest. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? But anyways, getting on with it.
How about you actually explain what Schedule 1 is to those who aren't aware?
Alright, well, the ones who aren't aware are just as much as clued in as I am. To my knowledge, it's basically a drug dealing game. That's as far as I know in terms of the game in itself.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this: there are way more games out there that do way worse stuff. Like,
yeah.
And if you wanna like say, like, oh, it's racist because the whole point of it basically dealing drugs. Hey, there's an entire mission in Payday where you actually have to fight off the police while making meth.
They're not calling the game racist because drug simulator.
I know, but you know that's
one of their achievements.
Wait, one of their achievements is racist?
Yeah, literally the title of it says it's incredibly racist. Schedule 1 comes under fire for one of its achievements.
Alright, so it's just bad wording then.
Basically. So anyway, moving on. A little before it reaches its 1 month anniversary, calls online have begun for Schedule 1 to change the name of one of its achievements due to racist connotations. The achievement in question...
Dream. Just because, obviously...
So glad you spoke over me in that moment, man.
Yeah. Best not to actually...
It's nothing bad. Like, I will say this. It's not like...
You can look up the achievements yourselves.
I'll just copy and paste it to Chaos.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But the thing is like, if people are calling it racist, it's better not to actually
Have you checked VC chat?
No, because I'm. Let's see.
That's what the achievement is.
Seriously?
Yes, and do you want to know why it's called that achievement?
Please.
Challenges players to sell something to a customer before pickpocketing it back, and is the only achievement in which a race is specified.
I'm sorry, but haven't people been literally having sex with hookers in GTA and then killing them right afterwards to get the money back for years?
Yep.
Haven't people been doing that for years?
Yeah, but it's not specified on race.
I mean, I'll say this is a bit risky to actually name it that, so that kind of is on the whoever named the achievements. They maybe do want to rework that, but to be fair, I don't think they were expecting Schedule 1 to get the attention that it has.
So I know, but the article also goes on to say the achievement was first noted by Twitter user Crow, who tagged the game's creator and said, "I'm loving the game, but can you remove this achievement? It's incredibly racist. The only achievement specifying a race." Crow's tweet was then followed up by something Horror Squad on social media, who released a lengthy statement stating, "We love Schedule 1 and how creative it is, but we need to address something first." It starts, "One of the achievements in the game, blank dealer, is based on the harmful phrase..." Oh, that makes sense. I'm gonna copy paste the reasoning.
Is it really that bad?
It makes a lot of sense why people are saying it's racist.
Oh dear. Alright.
I'll just say, like, basically, the term, like, the phrase in itself.
Oh! Oh, alright, yeah, no, that is valid.
That
That is valid, alright.
Do you want me to copy and paste the rest of this part to you, so see if I can say it?
No.
Or just go past it?
Go past it. Alright, I think we could just give a TLDR on this one and quickly move on. Essentially, slightly racist achievement that they definitely do need to change.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yes.
So please, if the dev team does see this, please do. It's actually kind of bad, guys. It's kind of bad. So please do. Like, if people are enjoying the game and that's the only slight that people have against it, it's a one-man dev. Then it might actually guarantee that if this is the kind of attention that is actually being brought, guarantee they're probably aware of it and they're probably going to be either changing it soon or it has been changed.
Yeah. So, but the streaming group has also stated that it says, the group says it believes in learning and growing together and wanting to make more games more respectful and inclusive. It provided a source for those who wanted to learn more about the term. I'm not going to say the term.
Please no.
But the gamer has also tried to reach out to the developer of Schedule 1 as well to speak on the Steam achievement, but they haven't received any comment back about it.
I hope, because the thing is, I've seen actual big streamers playing this game. I've seen the likes of Iron Mouse playing the game. It's a good thing that they usually have Steam achievements turned off.
Venice says, as far as I know, the man knows and doesn't care. I mean...
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Alright then. Well, to be fair though, to kind of throw... I know I'm not defending racism whatsoever, but to be fair, there's technically a lot worse stuff said in video games. Especially GTA. So,
I mean, it's also, again, there's other worse games out there too. Okay, maybe not as explicit, should we say?
Yeah. In
terms of achievements, but at the same time, there are so many achievements out in the world that are way worse. But I can also sit here and say that I do understand where some of the people are coming from.
Yeah. I'm so glad I spoke over you.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did too. I'm so glad you did too.
Oh man,
But make sure to put, when you're editing it, if you need to cut that bit out, do it. I don't mind.
I'll go over it later on, and if I
Or
find
just add a bleep.
I'll see what I can do.
Or just add a bleep, like record yourself going beep or something like that, like
Or what I might do is
and just put it over like where I say it. Like it's not a problem.
Yeah, it might be. Hopefully my audio like ran over.
Yeah, you did actually talk over me. Like
Yeah.
the second
Hopefully-
I said the first bit of it,
Yeah.
you spot like partway through that you literally went nope.
Yeah. So I didn't hear it. Thank fuck. Alright, we might be safe. We might be safe. Again, I'll go over it later. But yeah, just to be clear, folks, we do not endorse anything like this. Damo was actually just reading the article as is, and literally as it got to that point. So do not hound us in regards to this. We're literally just finding this information out as we do. So.
Yeah, no, it is one of those. At the end of the day, like
technically, proofreading should
Yeah.
be done to some extent.
I was gonna say I did skim read it, if that counts. Probably not in this instance, but at the same time, like
it
wasn't like, oh yeah, it's juicy clout. It was okay. This is to be informative. That's literally it.
I think in future, when it comes to stuff like covering that sort of stuff,
like that,
proofread it.
Ivy sent you a DM.
Yeah, I did see.
Yeah.
Alright.
So anyway, have you got another article for us?
I've got plenty, actually.
Same, actually, yeah.
Again, it's been quite the couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I'm actually gonna cover one of the big reasons why it's been a bit of a week, couple of weeks. So, obviously, many people are aware of the Elder Scrolls series. It's been one of the major series for Bethesda and a lot of gamers over the many years. Some people obviously having Morrowind be their first one, and some obviously starting off in Oblivion or Skyrim, with many obviously anticipating obviously Elder Scrolls 6. Well, there's actually started to come to everyone's attention that Oblivion might actually be getting a remaster, and by a remaster, I mean uploading possibly very, very soon. Obviously, there's been people that have have obviously been trying to predict this sort of thing happening for years, because some people would actually say that Oblivion is actually better than Skyrim in some aspects because of how they went about Oblivion, where Skyrim is a whole different kettle of fish. I personally enjoyed Oblivion because it was my introduction to the series. So I might be seen as biased, but I do obviously want to play Oblivion again. So obviously the chance of Oblivion... Now, it is still rumoured. Now, bear in mind, information has been sort of coming out left, right and centre from leakers and various other sources that are saying that that is leaning towards this actually might being true. And as every day goes, there seems to be more and more information coming out. Not from Bethesda, though. Bethesda are remaining very tight-lipped, to my knowledge. And considering if they do this, it's going to be massive. Because they'll be running it on Unreal Engine 5. So you'd imagine the game will run a lot more differently than way back in the day. So how much of this is actually true? Well, basically, at one point it was actually given. There was people actually saying that it was actually just someone else that actually made it, not Bethesda, and that it's actually been going by a different name. There's been all sorts of information left, right, and centre. Some have said it's an Oblivion. There's been obviously talk, Oblivion remake. Based on screenshots that have been showed, it's more remaster, not remake. to in order to remake a game of that nature, Bethesda would actually have to defer a lot of time and effort into it.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's been all sorts of stuff saying, obviously, that Oblivion Remastered will be releasing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. But apparently, part of the rumours said it would only be coming to Xbox and PC. It's kind of hard to determine what is actually going on in regards to this. I thought it'd be a good idea to bring it up because technically it is still only bits and pieces that people have put together in regards of like the rumors and various leaks that people have done. Would I like it to be actually true? Oh, very much so. I would very much like it to be true. Can we guarantee it yet? No. But the fact is, it has been rumoured that we might actually be seeing either its release or more information possibly coming out either this month or next month. With some people stating in this month, we're looking at possibly the 23rd with information actually coming out. So...
Actually, no, I have to add on to that because something came up, I believe it was either Twitter or Bluesky, from the official page about a countdown talking about it, and there was going to be a stream on the official Bethesda...
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the official Bethesda Twitch, and I don't know... hang on, let me see. It definitely popped up on either Twitter and or Bluesky, and I remember seeing it. I didn't think much of it because all we've heard is leaks and information, so I just thought somebody was just going to stream and like sort of advertisement. But I realised that doesn't make sense. So my logic has been a bit slow today, as always.
No, I'm seeing it but tomorrow 11 a.m. EST over on Bethesda's Twitch page, and it just shows the number 4.
Yeah.
Which anyone that's actually the way they've got it looks like Oblivion's 4 because they've got it in the Roman numerals. So that could mean something. So tune into Bethesda's actual Twitch page tomorrow to actually find out. Because this is actually massive. Like, I don't know that literally that only appeared like 3 hours ago, by the way, Damo. So good spot on that one. I missed that. Good spot.
You are welcome.
But yeah, no, like, do go check it out. And obviously, we may end up covering like more of it, like when it actually happens, because you guarantee, folks, if I'm not live myself, I might actually check it out. Hell, even if I'm live, I might actually check it out. Because I don't know what it would be EST. I think that might be like 3, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe? Our time? I believe.
I think so? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, if it actually does happen, it's saying 11 a.m. EST, Ivy. But yeah, we're just getting some confirmation here. So we will find out very, very shortly. But 4 p.m. for you. Aha! There we go. So, we'll find out before I actually go live tomorrow with Metopia. So don't be surprised if I don't take a little bit of time to talk about it.
Exactly, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. And obviously, we'll probably go into more depth on the next episode of the Flopcast. Because then more information will actually come out. So, fingers crossed on that one, that it is actually an Oblivion remaster.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that's... That is massive, actually. So I've got to get up in the morning. Lol. Oh, bless.
Bless you, sweetheart. I'll be in the VC waiting. I'll watch it with you.
I might be eating food.
Naturally.
So, you want to do your next one, Damo?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Baldur's Gate one that I found, that one was for you.
Wait. Was that from today?
I posted it yesterday.
Give me a second. Now I'm trying to find it. God damn it. Oh, I went up too far. Give me a second.
Does that help?
Wait, did you put it in the VC chat?
No.
Where'd you put it? Wait, you pinned it?
Yeah.
It's not showing me you pinned it, bro.
Well,
Thank you.
What? But yeah, that one was for you.
Oh, okay.
Because you cover the Baldur's Gate news, because that's more your area.
That is very true. Okay, well, anyway, thank you for that one. My next article comes from Games Radar. It was published on the 16th of this month. And the title says, Baldur's Gate 3 dev praises for crossplay after patch 8. You should be able to play the same game with your bros, no matter which major platform they pick. Oh, yeah! We still have yet to test that out. I have tried getting a hold of one of my friends, who I know definitely has it on PlayStation, and he was like, the same thing that Chaos said. There isn't enough space because of the games that he's playing currently. So I asked Beth, and Beth's like, yeah, I don't have PlayStation Plus. I was like, shit!
I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry, but what do you want from me, alright? Like, the games I got, they're not fucking small. Alright?
I'm not saying that they are, I'm just saying, like, you're good. You know, like, it's fine, I get it. Like, it's been one of those, like, recently. Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah. No, I'm good. I'm not gonna play with your cousin, it's fine. That sounded very rude and I do apologize. But I have my set people I play with. Which one of them does... Well, actually, you know, names like, you know, Chaos being one of them.
You're rambling.
Yeah, I know. I'm allowed to ramble. It's fine. Anyway, following the months of stress tests and anticipation, Larian Studios has finally released patch 8 for Baldur's Gate 3. And among all of the final updates and features, crossplay might just be one of the biggest. Larian publishing director Michael Cromwell-Dowse would probably agree.
Folks, let's see if Damo notices this.
Anyway. Yeah, taking to a celebratory post to honor the skilled. Yes, the photo mode is amazing.
Yeah, we see your pictures, Beth.
Newly integrated crossplay. I actually, to be fair, when Beth was originally playing around with photo mode, I was there for it. Literally, yeah. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Check it out on Blueski.
Yeah, definitely go check it out on Blueski for Beth. Yes, to honor the skilled developers responsible for the game's newly integrated crossplay support accompanying patch 8, I want to give a very special shout out to our engineers, the back-end team, because crossplay is not trivial, right, Styles? But in this increasingly ecosystem-driven world, more important than ever, Dowse concludes with a statement I'd argue most fans of multiplayer experiences would agree with, that you should be able to play the same game with your bros no matter which major platform they pick. He isn't the only person at Larian to think so either. Judging by the most recent animated short of the studio's official YouTube channel, near the end of the video, a modern-day spin on the Baldur's Gate 3 companions play together on different devices. But also as well, crossplay is not the only big addition to come to Baldur's Gate 3 with patch 8, though there's plenty to look forward to from the massive final update. It's 12 new subclasses, such as the Circle of Stars Druid, to the unexpected surprise drops like special Steam backgrounds, badges, emotes, and trading cards. As for what's in store now that the last patch has come, there's a lot to look forward to from both Larian and Dungeons and Dragons. Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Studio previously revealed that it's cooking up its own 2 very ambitious RPGs. In the meantime, with one of the mysterious projects being codenamed Excalibur, potentially pointing to a Arthurian game of sorts. On the other hand, D&D stands will also be eating good, as Hasbro is talking to lots of partners about the next Baldur's Gate game already, and working on a separate new D&D game too.
I'm definitely looking forward to what they're cooking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, obviously, many of you have seen I've not done a lot of Baldur's Gate stuff. But you can't deny what Larian Studios have done, as well as the commitment they have taken in regards to this game. And the response from the community has been so overwhelmingly positive across the board.
Oh yeah,
because they've been doing the one thing that a lot of devs are forgetting to do: communicate.
I mean, it's not just that though. Like, honestly, I think Baldur's Gate 3 for me is one of those games where I genuinely didn't imagine myself putting so many hours into it.
And then you found a white-haired vampire.
Yeah. Pretty much. You know,
with a British
so it's
accent.
just kind of like... Yes. But also as well, on top of that, like... You know, it's one of them where it's like... I'm very surprised at how much I've taken onto the game, considering there was a time as well where I managed to complete the game in like under a week. Now, I know that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of other people, and that is completely fine, my loves. But when I'm on a game with 2 hours a day, if that, sleep, because I'm so anticipated on playing it and completing it over and over again, and still discovering new things, that's when it becomes a problem.
No, let me put it into perspective for you guys, right? Obviously, for some people, it may not mean much. For those who aren't aware, let me put it in perspective. When the game had been out for at least like a couple of months, you'd have thought by that point, just because of how so in depth and thorough some gamers are, they would have discovered everything. It was actually at that point that even after 2 months of release, there were people still discovering stuff after literally over 700 hours of play.
And still are discovering new things, actually. Obviously,
exactly.
There's going to be a lot more for me to discover, which I will only do as long as I have someone doing the evil run with me, specifically. And I'm going to end up finding new things that I hadn't encountered before and stuff like that. I'm still seeing up on TikTok, there's stuff on there that I have not seen before in that game.
Like,
and this is like, you know, the good run.
Like, I even actually, I covered something on the Flopcast literally last year. Like, if you fail a certain quest in chapter 1, I think it's in like chapter 3, you then actually have a quest where you can actually find a cat a home. There's actually a quest where you help a cat find a home.
Yep.
Like, And there's so many like combinations on that how the quests go as well. So even if people think they've found everything and they've done all the quests, guess what? You need to fail some quests in order to find more.
But
And I like that because it's consequences.
I also want to make this point as well. Like, Larian have now officially, basically, with this last update, they have gone just like they did for was it Left 4 Dead 2? They're now leaving the game to the modders, to the community as a whole.
Yeah.
And already I have seen trailers everywhere on TikTok for like several different ones where they have made a completely different campaign altogether. So
yeah,
and they will most likely be put onto the mod part that you could get into, obviously, like on the main menu as well. Some obviously, because of how big that they can be and how extensive they are, will most likely also be on Nexus as well, so do not worry. I'm actually liking a lot of them now. Obviously, as long as we all have the same mods, you know, mods and stuff, we can play that and experience that together. Which I think would be pretty cool once we've finished playing through the game and stuff like that when we do our own run.
I'm still gonna like, I will hold my hands up high and say, yo, Larian Studios, you guys did good. You guys did really good, and we're looking forward to seeing your next work. And I'll say this,
100,000%.
I can speak for myself and Damo, and I can probably speak for everyone in our respective communities when I say this. What you guys come up with next, because I know this has a lot of issues with a lot of gaming journalists as well as other fans. A lot of people have a tendency of, oh, they did this, so we're going to compare their next stuff with this. We won't be comparing. We're looking forward to seeing the skills you have learned through Baldur's Gate 3, and we're looking to see what you actually do with your next work. We're looking forward to see.
Oh fuck yeah!
We're looking forward to see your next project and see what you guys do next. We're looking to see the next journey you guys take, and obviously, guarantee it will be spoken about here. So, look forward to that, folks.
And it's not just that as well, like, this goes across the entire board, too. Like, just because Hasbro want to make a Baldur's Gate 4, like, do not think about comparing Baldur's Gate 4 to Baldur's Gate 3, because it's going to be a completely different team.
Yep.
That's going to be taking a hold of it and doing their thing with it.
When a new team works on a game that's part of already a well-established series, there's one of my rules. Never have any expectations. Go in with a completely blank slate. Only after you've experienced the game, then may you actually then start to possibly make comparisons, because you can actually then spot things that you may not have spotted when you go in with goggles. Because that's why I refer to people that go in because they are comparing it with something else. Like, obviously, that will like the way I think the best. And Beth will probably agree with me, and anyone else that's played this. I think the best comparison I can make was people saying that Final Fantasy 16 was not a legit Final Fantasy game. They're saying it's not.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that statement, but okay.
I'll wholeheartedly disagree with that, and anyone that actually says to me, "Oh, it's not a real entry in the Final Fantasy series," I'm gonna turn around and say, it's got the regular summons that we know. And it's basically a battle against the crystals. That's a Final Fantasy entry if I ever saw.
And not just that, don't forget, like, a lot of the Final Fantasy games have their own little mini universes as well.
Exactly.
And I only learned that by actually paying attention to the ones that I did play. Like, oh, this is different. Like, why the character different? Hang on a second. Like, it's okay for it to be its own entry in its own right too, but like, it's still part of the franchise regardless.
Although, something that I wasn't aware of until literally about a couple of years ago. Did you know that Final Fantasy X universe is actually connected to Final Fantasy VII?
Actually, yeah, I think I do remember hearing something about that.
Yeah. It's actually connected. But like, in which way, obviously, is 10 obviously in the future? Or is 7 in the future of it? I would tell you, but I think you guys, if you want to know, folks, you need to go look it up.
Yeah.
7, 8, and 10 are connected. Thank you, Ivy. So yeah. Right. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes.
Alright. Now this one should be rather interesting to you as well, Damo.
Oh.
Pokemon Go.
Oh god.
Yep.
God.
This is from Eurogamer, and this was posted. This was posted on the 16th. Pokemon Go creator Niantic lays off 68 people following a $3.5 billion games sale.
Oh, I heard about that. By ear, not by looking it up, by the way, just
remaining
to clarify,
employees
but I did
now
hear of it.
Remaining employees now part of a slimmed down spin-off focused on AI mapping. Yeah. Niantic has made 68 employees redundant as part of its company restructuring process following the sale of its gaming portfolio to Monopoly Go maker Scopely, a deal worth $3.5 billion. The deal has been Scopely become the owner of Niantic Games, Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Now, and Pikmin Bloom, and the new employer of the teams that work on those titles. As previously announced, all employees working on those games remain in their posts. These layoffs, meanwhile, come from the remaining staff at Niantic working on other projects as the organisation slims down and effectively rebrands as a startup named Niantic Spatial. Niantic has previously warned of job losses among its remaining team as part of this process. Now it's detailed in a worker adjustment and retraining notification, warn, spotted by a game developer. We know how many. The company has declined to comment further about the job losses. Niantic Spatial will focus on a refreshed version of Niantic's original core interest, creating a digital map of the planet, now using geospatial AI. The newly rebranded company has secured $250 million of capital investment, $50 million from Scopely, and $200 million from Niantic's own balance sheet in order to move forward. Question.
May have answer.
More question to put out to the universe, really, and I do believe you might actually follow me with this one. Why the fuck are they laying off 68 people when they've literally just made that amount of money?
Couldn't tell you.
I'm sorry, there's no excuse for that. Oh, we're trying to slim down and we're trying to do this. I'm sorry, that's a bullshit excuse. I'm sorry, Pokemon Go literally is what made Niantic. Pokemon Go literally was Niantic's big fucking thing. And they go ahead and just randomly let go of 65 people after getting bought, after literally now being owned by a different company, and they've literally just had that amount of money put into a project. I'm sorry, but fuck off. That's just, I'm sorry, that's just another load of bullshit I'm hearing. Fuck it. What is it with game companies the past, couple of years is literally randomly dropping people like that for no fucking reason? What does that mean for Pokemon Go? Now there's basically got a slimmer team now working on it. That can't be good. And the fact that they're going to be working on something that involves using AI, they laid off everyone that was working on different game ideas, then only focusing on Pokemon Go. So that's really their reason. Oh, you guys working on different projects? Nah, fuck off. That's literally it. Yeah, nah. I don't know about you, Damo, but that ain't cool.
No, it's not, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's been so many fucking layoffs recently, over the last, couple of years. It's actually heartbreaking.
Pokemon Go's had a bit of a Pokemon Go's reputation has literally had a roller coaster since its release. Obviously, there was, if many of you remember, literally the first Pokemon Go Fest, where they were meant to obviously be, where they get loads of people who were playing the game to come to an event, and they would be releasing some legendary Pokemon for people to capture, but because no one could actually jump on because the servers were so bad, that literally you can find YouTube videos on it about how bad it was. Literally, the crowd were booing them. Like, kids were crying.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so many people were upset. Not gonna lie, I found it hilarious.
Not gonna lie.
Thank you very much. It was kind of funny to see. And then, when the pandemic hit, they actually did the smart thing and enabled people to be able to play the game without leaving their home. To be able to actually do stuff without leaving their home, which is a very smart call. And then they reversed that after lockdowns were being released, which then also infuriated the fan base. I can't remember if they actually basically then put it back.
They did.
Good. If they hadn't, that would have been more bullshit. But and it's been slowly, like, I know a couple of people who play it, and they do seem to enjoy it because there's a little thing to do while they're out. And it's like, whenever teams start slimming down, it's not good. It's never a good thing.
No.
And I only hope all the companies are slimming down because the gaming decline, they're worried that there is going to be some kind of crash. The only reason there would actually be some kind of crash is because the gaming community is so fed up with all the fucking suits going around thinking they know better and basically just running everyone who has actually put in their blood, sweat and tears into making their games, and then just basically running them ragged and destroying the community. It won't be the... Unfortunately, the ones that will be taking the big hit will be the developers. That's the sad thing. And I hate the fact that we're, again, talking more about companies that are, again, doing this shit. We literally covered so many companies that got bought out, that were under Microsoft and got bought out over the past couple of years, especially with the recent acquisition. How so many companies were literally having to either be cut or just completely shut down. And it's like, can business people just... If you really were that smart when it came to business, look into the industry you're investing in. And let me tell you this, as a member of the gaming community, and I probably speak for a lot of people, business people, unless you actually literally play games and actually have a love for it and understand the hard work that goes into it, fuck off.
Yeah.
If you want to make money, invest and back off and let people cook. Because let me tell you something. When gaming companies are allowed to actually cook, you get absolute fucking gems. You get the likes of Helldivers. You get the likes of Baldur's Gate 3. To basically name a few. Who literally weren't AAA companies, but their reputation has literally taken them to AAA status. To the point they've actually surpassed a lot of companies over the past couple years. Niantic, don't, for the love of God, go the stupid route. Alright? You're using AI, obviously, for some form of mapping. Be careful. That is a very slippery slope.
To be fair, I will say this, Niantic have pretty much always used AI in terms of geographical mapping. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of AI I'm okay with because they're doing it obviously because it's geographically done.
But the thing is, I still give out a warning though, because it's like, it is a very slippery slope, especially considering the current environment in regards of AI, as well as the issues going on through various things and various mediums, which I would love to talk about. However, I feel because of how much of a bullshit side it is, I do believe for safety's sake we won't. But suffice to say, I don't like AI taking over a lot of jobs, and that's essentially what I'm afraid of happening. But the fact that it's essentially been worded like, oh yeah, we've dropped these people so we can now focus on doing this using AI, it's like the way it's kind of been worded is like, so these people lost out. So people lost out, and I feel for those that are actually remained, because they're gonna have a lot more work to do. They're gonna have a lot more put on them. And I hope they get paid more for it, but I doubt, considering how companies are, that their pay will go up significantly. Because it should be a case of the more work you get, the more you should be paid for it. But unfortunately, a lot of companies don't do that. So, Niantic. Kind of dangerous territory at the minute. Don't fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Don't have me turn around 1 month and literally turn around and go, Niantic, stop being a dick. Because I don't think this lot want to see me go on another fucking rant about a company screwing their people around. We've had enough of those.
Yep.
Although I know some people do find it entertaining. Damo's sick of hearing it.
It's not so much I'm sick of hearing it, it's more I do get a little bit worried, because at the end of the day, like, I know what you like when you go on, like, little rants like that. It tends to kind of go a bit bigger sort of situation. I'm sat here like, what do I do?
Yeah. But
so it's just kind of one of them where it's like, it's more like, you know, worrying about your general, like, mental well-being and emotional well-being over, like, being sick and tired of it, pretty much, for me.
Yeah. No, I get you, but I can't help when I'm passionate about something.
And I'm not saying, like, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
We love the fact that you're compassionate, but, like, Ivy just said, it may be funny at first, but sometimes we do worry about your blood pressure.
Hey, if I'm going out, I'm going out the way I came in this world, kicking, streaming, and covered in blood.
Oh boy. With that being said, I believe it's time to move on to the next article.
Yes.
So this was from The Gamer. It came out on the 4th. Don't know why it's saying it came out on the 4th when it came to me after that, but you know, we're fine. We're fine. A decade after release, Ubisoft has removed nudity from Far Cry 4.
A question?
May have answer. Well,
Why?
I'm glad you asked. Let's get on with the fucking article. According to player reports, Ubisoft has patched Far Cry 4 to censor nudity over 10 years after the game was released. This is the only patch for Far Cry 4. This is the only patch Far Cry 4 has received over the last 2 years. Ubisoft isn't a developer that has traditionally shielded away from nudity, making this development all the stranger. Theopractic. I'm going to say Theopractic because I cannot pronounce the word that's on my screen right now.
Yeah.
Far Cry is usually about a protagonist from a first world country finding themselves embroiled in some conflict in a more lawless developing land. Yeah. I'm just reading it from the article, it's fine. The culture of these fictional lands differ from Western countries our protagonists tend to come from. Far Cry 4's queer nudity is more socially acceptable than in the United States, where the game's protagonist AJ grew up. As a result, there are several characters with bare breasts. You can also play as a nude AJ in a specific quest, which takes place in Shandath Arena, as reported by agents_G_2004. The woman who offers you this quest in the arena previously had her breasts exposed, but following the recent patch, she is now wearing a cloth bralette. It does look weird, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. The unnamed woman's dialogue when AJ approaches her is, "Well, if it isn't Mr. Stare at my tits." This line still technically makes sense, but it doesn't quite have the same impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are also screenshots of AJ's genitals being covered by a loincloth in that same quest, making a line from Reggie and Yogi about AJ's member nonsensical. Why would Ubisoft do this after a decade? This is the question on the minds of the community. There's a lot of speculation that the recent Tencent acquisition of a Ubisoft created subsidiary is responsible for these changes, but there's no evidence to support these theories. Speculation from it's_fine_bruh suggests that this version of Far Cry 4 is the one used in Japan to receive a CERO Japanese rating board certification. This version of the game is used in certain countries where nudity in media is less acceptable. However, why Ubisoft would feel the need to do different versions of Far Cry 4 after 10 years remains a mystery. It could be related to a potential re-release or remaster of the game in the near future. And obviously they have asked for comment by Ubisoft themselves, but nothing to date currently.
No surprise there, it's Ubisoft.
Exactly.
So essentially, TLDR, Ubisoft censors tits and cock in Far Cry 4. Reason? Don't know.
Basically, yeah.
Just... Oh... So yeah, you folks don't understand why I said it was a bit of a fucking weird one the past couple of weeks in terms of news?
Mm-hmm. Telling me.
Trust me, it doesn't get any weird. Trust me, it gets weirder.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this article that I've got, for example. I found a bunch of these earlier today. So, obviously, Stellar Blade, really, really good game. Obviously, had a bit of a controversial initial start, but that was due to a lot of people basically trying to say that Eve was just an overly sexualized character and that she shouldn't look the way she does, even though, and they're saying that she's not real, even though she was actually based off an actual Asian model. Which, to my day, still makes me fucking laugh. But I honestly, having played Stellar Blade, I honestly think it's actually a very good game.
Yeah.
It definitely is very good. But something that, because obviously when it comes to games, obviously of that nature, obviously you'll see like statues come out, obviously, for various things. Obviously, the Final Fantasy has a load. Obviously, there's a load. Obviously, for Baldur's Gate. Obviously, there's Persona and many other series. Well, Stellar Blade actually is on the verge of releasing their Eve statue, and it's very expensive.
I can only imagine.
$3,600. And would you believe me if I told you that it's already sold out and it's only still in the pre-order phase?
Yes.
Yep.
I would.
Pre-orders for J&D Studios' new Stellar Blade Eve and Tachi statue sold out in only a few minutes, despite its $3,600 price tag. Stellar Blade fans also had a brief opportunity to pre-order an individual Eve statue separately before those units were sold out. Pre-orders for the Stellar Blade Eve and Tachi dual version statue were completely sold out shortly after stock was made available on April 17th at 11 PM ET, according to the official J&D Studios Twitter account. The hyper-realistic statues caught the attention of many fans in the Stellar Blade community who didn't have time to pre-order the dual version since stock ran out at 11:13 PM. Yes, that quick. Pre-orders for the individual Eve statue, which cost $2,200, also sold out in just a few minutes after going live. It's worth noting that these prices were reduced from the original $3,900 and $2,400 MSRPs for the dual and individual figures, since J&D Studios wants to reduce the burden on pricing due to the tariffs uncertainties. You know what? That's fair.
That is very valid.
And I think this also just proves that Stellar Blade, like, despite obviously having obviously come out last year, it still has quite a definitely good following. Because, to my knowledge, they are actually currently working on Stellar Blade 2.
Okay.
So, yeah. And based on information I've been seeing, it will feature something that they actually weren't able to put in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be very interesting to see.
Very indeed, yeah.
But the fact that the fact that these statues are selling like hotcakes, essentially the best way to describe it, is not surprising. It's it is what it is. Like, fans will go nuts for certain things. Like, look at the Legend of Zelda Lego set.
Yup.
Like, the fan base can be absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that was just a weird one, but I thought kind of funny at the same time. Damo?
Yes. Yes. So, let's see. Because obviously I'm just looking at the time and trying to be mindful as well. And I've
Don't
got,
worry
like,
about it.
4 left. Okay. Well, I'll do this one so I can get, like, at least one review done. Lost Records sets a sequel up much better than Life is Strange Double Exposure. This is on The Gamer and was published 21 hours ago. And it does contain spoilers, like the article itself. Now, I'm not gonna talk about what happens in well, I mean, obviously I am. You're gonna get a fucking spoiler either way, but that's besides the point. I will try and keep the spoilers to a minimum, specifically. So, just giving you guys a 5-second head start. So this is like your 5-second head start from
5,
now.
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Anyway, as stated, this article does contain spoilers for Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, and Life is Strange Double Exposure. Throughout the Throughout the Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, one open question remains. What happened to Kat? During Tape 1, Bloom, Kat remains unseen in the 2022 timeline as Swan reunites with Autumn and Nora 27 years after the events of 1995. When you reach the end of the episode, it's revealed that Kat has been diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh dear.
In Tape 2, Rage, we learn that Swan, Autumn, and Nora assumed that Kat had died all those years ago, but they just can't remember as the episode progresses. We finally get some concrete answers back in 95. Kat convinced the other girls to help her release all of her family's deer into the wild. Corey and Dylan subsequently caught them in the act and chased them into the woods. They ended up at the Abyss, that glowing purple-pink hole in the ground that seems to pulse with magic. And when Corey attacked them, they pushed him in. They made a pact they had to stop being friends so that Corey's disappearance could remain a secret and wouldn't incriminate Kat. It's sort of a bizarre explanation of the game's central mystery, and I'm still working through whether it works for me. This is obviously the article, not me, just saying.
Yeah.
No, but I do know that the game's sequel tease, which also involves the Abyss, absolutely does, compared to the unimpressive sequel teaser at the end of Life is Strange Double Exposure. The latest game in the series, Don't Nod, originated Lost Records teaser has me foaming at the mouth for more. Oh yeah. Ending strange. Life is Strange Double Exposure has a post-credit scene that takes a page out of Marvel's playbook. Regardless of your choices, it concludes with Safi heading off to explore her supernatural powers. Max can affirm her or reprimand her, but either way, Safi returns in the post-credit scene to recruit a supporting character named Diamond. We then see that Diamond's nose is bleeding, a telltale sign that someone has powers. It feels straight out of an early MCU movie, like Safi as Nick Fury showing up at the end of Iron Man, though Double Exposure's framing of powers as a burden has more in common with the X-Men after a decade and a half of the MCU and other less successful interconnected universes. This teaser doesn't inspire much confidence. Life is Strange was always interesting because each game could focus on different people in different places with different powers. The games shared a focus on a peculiar blend of mundane life and supernatural abilities, but their connective tissue was never more than Easter eggs. Double Exposure threatened to go all MCU on us, and that was a bad choice. Yes, it fucking was, and I haven't even completed it still. But the sequel tease at the end of Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, is far more interesting. Throughout the game, Swan and friends assumed that Kat died from her leukemia, but in the end, Swan begins to see flashes of Kat's face. Bathed in the light of the Abyss in the game's final scene, Swan returns to the place in the woods where the girls found the strange glowing pit all those years ago. Their Kat flashes her into her mind again, telling her in no uncertain terms that she'll be alive and trapped in the abyss. This raises questions and more questions than answers. It's really easy for me to picture double exposure to quadruple exposure. Because I've seen dozens of team-up movies and played games like Midnight Suns and Marvel Avengers that bring that storytelling into games. There's nothing new there. But what would Lost Records 2 even look like? Would it be set in the Abyss? Would Kat come back to the real world? Twin Peaks, the return style, if she and Donnie are both in the Abyss? Did they continue hating each other for 27 years, or did they make up and survive together? When did Kat end up there? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The questions, all the fucking questions. You get the general consensus. Now, onto my review for tape 2 of, Lost Records Bloom and Rage. I felt like it was a little bit shorter than the first tape. I'm going to be completely honest. However, I did enjoy it nonetheless. And even though I didn't get the outcome that I wanted to achieve, and I've used no guides for this, I want to clarify that right now. Usually when I struggle in a game that is specifically tailored like this, or the majority of games I do play rather, should I say, I always tend to either go complaining to Chaos about it, and he's like, Google's your best friend, and I'll Google it, or I'll just put it down and not pick it up again. Well, obviously, lo and behold, that is completely different this time round, this game. If I had to compare it to Double Exposure, honestly, it's not as buggy as Double Exposure, I've noticed. Apart from a couple of, you see kind of like a little bit of a shadow, sort of figure, right? That's, randomly in the road or something. In one of the, few, back to the present scenes, and it'll just quickly disappear. And I noticed that periodically throughout the game as well, when it's, flashback, non-flashback sort of thing. And it was only every so often, but other than that, I've not had any issues with the game at all. I definitely am looking forward to what they will actually be bringing out, and if they do actually full on commit to make a second one of this, because we've seen it from Swan's point of view, right? The entire thing. What if in the second one they do somebody else's point of view, or even Kat's point of view, leading up to that point? And that's kind of what I want to see, because I did adore Kat. Honestly, I was like, Kat would probably be the dream baby sister I wish I had.
Jesus.
Just because she's really creative and she's really out there sort of thing. She's taking no one's shit effectively whilst trying to protect her older sister. And to be honest, the music in itself as well is just chef's kiss. To be honest with you. And it definitely sits a lot better. The voice acting is a lot more clearer than Double Exposure and stuff like that. And I'm not saying this to shit on Double Exposure, because it does have its own strengths. Yes, okay, I've not gone back to the game, but I just want to make it very clear that I have different reasons for myself personally. It's more of the voice actor change for Chloe Price.
Yeah.
That throws me off. And obviously the bugs and stuff like that I've noticed as well, where I'll randomly just teleport back. For no reason. It's just one of those that it happens, and I'm kind of not looking forward to get into I think it's the 4th chapter in Double Exposure as well. Because there have been reports that, if you save during that chapter, it will automatically corrupt. And because obviously everything that's gone down in terms of the studio and stuff like that, and how it's not actually kind of received an update really since, it's got me a bit on edge. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to play a game, I do, as any gamer would, I prefer it without bugs, please. Especially game-breaking ones like corruption. Because
Quick
I'm not
question
going to be
in
replaying
regards to that.
Uh-huh.
Did they actually have any quality assurance testers?
No idea, couldn't tell you.
Because it sounds like they had some and they just kicked them out before they had a chance to do anything.
It's just one of them, I don't know, to be honest. And not just that as well, Double Exposure felt really fucking rushed as well. It's definitely not finished, 100% not finished. And that's just my opinion on that. Whereas with, even with Tape 1, I was sat in the VC, general VC, all day, and I was streaming it on Discord. And I loved it. Honestly, like, it's definitely given me times where I've, like, sat on the edge of my seat going, oh, what's happening? What's going on? Like, oh, shit, did I unintentionally make this into a horror for myself? And yes, this is coming from somebody who loves horror, but specifically psychological thriller horror, like, sort of stuff.
Is this a
you know,
thriller?
But it really captivated, you know, like, especially with The Abyss as well. So, like, the kind of, like, cult-like feel sort of situation, because it just kind of, like, pulls you in.
Yeah.
Even though you're not actually in, like, the game yourself, like, sort of thing. It pulls you in. You're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and it's definitely one of them. If you like games where you have multiple choice, and it's story-driven, or even episodic if you prefer, like, you know, like I do with the terms of Life is Strange, like the older style Life is Strange games. I definitely think it's worth it. 100,000%. I think Bloom and Rage, honestly, is 100% like just worth it. You know?
So out of 10, what would you
like,
give? So out of 10, what would you give the game?
It'll be way off the scales of like over 9,000.
Okay, Vegeta.
I don't even like the fucking anime, but you know, I see it anyway.
I know, but that's the meme you were going for.
Exactly.
Hence the joke. But you know, if you actually give like legit, if you would actually like give an actual objectified out of 10, what would you give it?
10 out of 10.
Alright.
Oh yay, Hollywood and Dead.
Alright, so there is an Inzoi article.
Yes, there is.
That I definitely want you to obviously do.
Do you want to do that now?
Yep, because I've only got like 3 articles that could literally be boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll make this one my last one.
Roger that.
And then obviously I'll do Dragon Wilds quickly after that, because it's only going to be a short one.
Yeah, because you've only been on it for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So this came from The Gamer. It was published 5 days ago. Inzoi is now at lows. The Sims 4 hasn't reached in 4 years.
And that's a fucking statement.
And I just want to start off from this article before I read it as well. I do wish the creators of Inzoi the best. No hate goes out to them. However, they do need to kind of look at their game and not, you know, use as much AI as they have. And I'm not just talking about in-game. I'm talking about advertisements and stuff like that as well, which I did come to discover a few weeks ago because I was telling my internet wife, like, hey, I kind of want Inzoi, like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks pretty fucking cool. And then that's when I found out this very same day, actually, where everything, like, in-game wise, outside the game in terms of advertisements, stuff like full on AI. And it kind of went, for me, I'm like, I don't think this is going to be a game for me anymore. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to get into the article. Inzoi started full of promise. Its stunning visuals, customization options, and commitment to giving players engaging activities to partake in meant the game was dubbed The Sims Killer. Yeah, you heard that right. The Sims Killer. That promise quickly faded, though, with the game losing 85% of its player base in under 2 weeks. Things have now gone from bad to worse for Crafton, as the game has hit lows that The Sims 4 hasn't seen in 4 years.
And as I said earlier,
that statement, that is a statement and a half in itself.
Yes. I don't even play Sims, and even I know that's a hell of a statement.
Like, you remember me telling you about the Sims 4 My Wedding Stories pack?
Oh.
How broken that was?
Yep.
This is worse than that.
Oh boy.
And before anyone comes at me going, well, how do you know that? You've not played it. You're right, I haven't. However, I'm in a number of Facebook, like close Facebook groups to do with The Sims specifically. And we do also talk about other games, because a lot of people in the community that are modders, custom content creators, will look at characters from certain games and be like, you know what, I want that on my sim, let's fucking do it. Like, duh. You know, and a lot of the groups I'm in do allow the talk of Inzoi, because it was all the rage, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, this is next Sims. Like, it might be better because we're getting so much more than what we got even in the fucking base game. Like, oh my god. and it went down to shit. I have seen pictures of gameplay, I have seen videos of people's gameplay through that alone, and when I say it looks better on paper than it does literal, that's when you know you also have an issue in terms of that aspect. I'm talking about like Starfield level of like, you know, unfinished faces.
Yeah, Starfield. That's the name that we've not spoken about in a while, and to be honest,
Yeah,
probably
and the thing
won't again.
is, in the create a Zoe mode, right? Your Zoys will look fantastic. They will look fucking beautiful. It's like, oh yeah, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. And then you see the picture of the gameplay afterwards, and it's like having the only way I can explain it is having the Zoys basically went from like top tier, like alpha CC sort of like rating, right? All the way down to having your graphic settings on low and being purely shit for Fortnite. No 3D rendering, pretty much.
I'm gonna have to basically, based on everything that I've been seeing and hearing, Inzoi is I would have to say Inzoi is the exact poster child for why AI is not all it's cracked up to be.
Exactly. But also getting back to the article because we are kind of pressed on time. Inzoi only launched into early access March 28th, but its decline has been sharp. Things initially looked good with the game selling over 1 million copies and peaking at over 87,000 concurrent players. That all swiftly changed though. Now it's breaking unwanted records. According to SteamDB, yesterday on April 15th, Inzoi peaked at only 8,477 players. The last times The Sims 4 dropped this low was back in November of 2021 when it had a maximum of 8,475 players playing the game. By diving deeper into the data, we can see that Inzoi is struggling even more. On April 15th, the game had an average of 6,647 players playing at any given time. Since the records began, The Sims 4 has never ever dropped this low.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that SteamDB didn't start tracking average player data until October 2022 for The Sims 4, but its lowest average player count on record is 9,553, almost 50% more than Inzoi's low numbers. The numbers are likely to be a concern for Crafton given the amount of stock and effort the company put into promoting the game, but the fact that it's in early access means that given time, it should do just fine. The Sims has had over 2 decades worth of brand recognition and loyalty behind it, whereas Inzoi is a brand new IP. The developers have already outlined and promised dozens of new features and updates for the game, and you have to imagine that when it's more complete, it will certainly give The Sims a run for its money. It's not a great start though. This is where I have to kind of say yes and no. Like, at the end of the day, they haven't exactly been full on like transparent with the amount of AI that they use, which is obviously going to go against them in the like whether it's short term or long run, we won't really know, you know, and that's going to have a big impact to do with it as well. And like I said, the things that I've seen on those closed groups, like, is astonishing. Like, somebody was getting about like 20 frames when they had like basically their specs were so you can play that shit on ultra mode.
I'm just gonna say this,
like above and beyond. They even tried lowering it to medium at 60 FPS, right? And it still ran like dog shit.
I'm just gonna say this. If you're gonna all of a sudden be given the title of possible Sims killer, you best make sure you fucking deliver. And the fact that it's had this and it's still in early access, if they don't and the fact they've not actually been as honest with the amount of AI they've used, as you stated, we might see another game end up going the Concord route and completely getting shut down after a short period of time. They need to really actually start thinking about how they're doing things, and the fact that the amount of AI that's been used in it is not good, as I literally stated earlier, especially considering the state of AI battles that are currently being had across the board. This is just one example of why companies need to take a sharp look at what's going on. Alright, some could easily argue that Inzoi is literally just a possibility on what AI is capable of. That could be a fair argument. However, here's my counter argument. Like with most things, it's only as good as its initial programming.
Yep.
The AI will only be able to be as smart as its initial programming allows it. And if the people behind it think it's gonna work, well, I can guarantee it ain't gonna work. So, ergo, Inzoi really needs to... The Inzoi devs really need to think hard, long and hard, on their... how they deal with, obviously, the falling in numbers. How they plan on actually improving, and maybe less putting money on basically throwing AI at it. Because guess what?
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what? AI only goes so far at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure if AI were to take a look at everything, even the AI, if it actually was full-on artificial intelligence, it would take a look at everything that you've done and how the community's reacted, turn around and call you an idiot and probably do something else.
Probably. But again, it's what a lot of like AI, they get taught by their users as well.
Yeah.
Now, considering this has been in development for quite some time, you would have thought that, you know, the learning curve for the AI in itself, like the software, you would have thought it would have come like, you know, make it so it's more doable. I'm not saying it's not playable, of course it's playable. However, like, just go in with cautionaries. But also as well, I want to state, just because I won't play the game doesn't mean that you can't. Yeah. If it's something that you think is right up your street and up your, you know, your butt crack of an alley, wholeheartedly go for it. You know, what you spend your money on is what you spend your money on. It's not our business. But go in with an open mind. Open, but guarded.
Go in with an objective mindset. Go in with the go in with the thought process. Don't... Just because the initial is all sunshine and rainbows. The initial part is how they draw people in. And that's usually after that is where a lot of video games fail.
Yeah.
That's been literally the case for many years, where the games looked so great, with everything leading up. The PR's been amazing, and then when it actually releases, it's been absolutely less than dog shit.
Yes.
We've seen it countless times. Fucking hell, I've seen it for so many fucking years. And Christ alike, I'm 37 this year, so I've seen plenty of games eat shit.
Yep.
So the OGs of us that have been around for as long as I have, maybe more, that have been gamers, will definitely say, yeah, this is not looking good. Hopefully, they can actually realise their mistakes, and instead of trying to essentially play on the whole Sims killer thing, because to be not gonna lie, you have to do a lot to be a Sims killer, and so far you're looking like you're not killing the Sims, more the Sims doesn't even have to touch you, you're killing yourself. But
and it's hard to make like a life simulating game, especially one as in-depth like Sims as well, because like there's been so many projects that have had cease and desist letters because EA have gone, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And they've done that quite a lot of the last like few years.
What's to stop them doing it with this?
They tried. But with the amount of AI actually used in and outside of the fucking Inzoi, it's not a surprise where EA kind of lost that battle.
But the thing is,
you know,
the thing is, like with the amount of AI, because it'll only be good, as literally stated, it'll only be good as the user. Ergo, guarantee it's gonna stand on someone's toes, and it's gonna piss someone off.
Well, of course.
So,
yes.
shall we move on?
Yeah, so I'm gonna quickly do my Dragon Wilds review if that's alright. It's not even gonna take like 5 minutes.
Yep, shoot.
Alright, so the RuneScape Dragon Wilds, yes, it's made by the same people that made old school RuneScape. Yes, that is my childhood, as it is for many people as well, and I love that shit. Like, yeah, definitely. Anyway, that's besides the point. Dragon Wilds is basically, how do I put it? It's basically sandbox version of RuneScape. You know, so you got to keep an eye on your food, like your health, obviously, your stamina, your sleep, your food and water intake, like sort of thing. And you just basically go nuts, essentially. But to grind to make a house should not have taken me as long as it did, just for a fucking dragon to acid vomit on my house and break it. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie.
And the quests are very vague as fuck. I will say this though, it is a good little game for me to just chill and run around on. I'm not even that far in, but it's definitely got some work to do.
Yeah.
Honestly, and that is literally the review. It's got a lot of work that needs doing to it, you know, to spruce it up and make it look nice, neat, and tidy. But other than that, like, it's one of them. I'd give it like a 6.
I was gonna say, thank you. All right, so. As I stated earlier, I've got a few articles that are pretty small.
Yes.
Alright, so these are essential. Two of these on Nintendo, so we'll run them back to back. Nintendo amiibos are getting more expensive, to no one's surprise.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. So obviously with the release of the Switch 2, obviously. Figure more amiibos will be coming out. Well, we got pricing for Street Fighter 6 and Legend of Zelda amiibos. Street Fighter 6 amiibos will be increasing from $30 to $40. Legend of Zelda amiibos will be going up from $20 to $30, with obviously new amiibos obviously being attached, obviously for the varying things. Is that a surprise that the amiibos are actually going up in price? Not really, considering the amiibos actually do more than what they look like. They actually do have some influence on certain games. So it'll be interesting. It's just literally more of a case of like such a high price. So it'll be interesting to see how things go ahead, especially considering with Switch 2's release date coming, with Switch 2 coming out so soon. Speaking of the Switch, though, a man has been convicted of selling illegally modified Nintendo Switches and gets a suspended prison sentence. Yep. As many people obviously are aware, obviously, in regards when it comes to Nintendo and how protective they are of their IPs, you can imagine how much they really like it when someone makes modified versions of their systems. Oh, it goes down like a lead fucking balloon. Has been confirmed by Japanese news network NTV News that of the arrest of the get this because this surprised me, the 58-year-old Ryogasaki citizen resident Fumihiro Otabe. Yeah, 58.
Yeah.
Connected with illicit Switch sales. Otabe had reportedly been welding modified parts to Nintendo Switch circuit boards, creating and selling illegally modified Nintendo Switch consoles. Otabe was sentenced to 2 years in prison with a 3-year suspension for violations of Japanese Trademark Act, which aims to protect the registered trademarks of Japanese businesses and customers. Otabe was also issued a significant fine by the Japanese court, owing roughly $3,500 in fines. Though the news did not report or reveal the specifics of Otabe's illegal console mod, Nintendo has historically been extremely protective of the gaming juggernaut's intellectual property, i.e. look at the court case of Palworld.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're planning on actually modifying your Switch, think again. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, just
Don't
don't.
be an idiot.
It's not worth it.
It really isn't, honestly.
Now, this is actually something I came across literally the other day, and I actually have confirmed this. There's been all sorts of 3D platformers over the years, especially from back in the day of like the PlayStation 1 and 2 era, which some people, myself, would say is probably one of the best eras of video gaming. Period. Well, Psychonauts, an oldie classic, actually went on sale. Actually had a sale on Steam, to which the devs of it actually went on social media and actually said, "We pushed this as far as we can to celebrate the anniversary of this game. We've pushed as far sale as we can." There was actually a discount for the game that will be around until the 26th of April. So if you like Psychonauts, you can get it on Steam currently at 89 cents. Because it is currently on a 91% discount. What does that mean for UK prices? I can tell you that. I saw it at 65 pence.
Fucking hell.
I think that's one of the cheapest games, the biggest discounts I've actually seen for a game on Steam currently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to get yourself Psychonauts to play on your PC through Steam, get it while you can, because right now it is dirt fucking cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? For a classic game like that, that's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I was tempted to actually just grab it just because of the price. Hell, I might even still do it now just so I can say, hey, I got this for this price. Just because, you know? But I'm sorry, if something's less than £1, you gotta at least take a look at it. Am I wrong?
No.
Alright, so, with that being said though, we are going to be calling it quits for this episode of the Flopcast. The next episode of the Flopcast will take place on the 5th of May.
Yes.
So, look forward to that episode, folks. Damo, as always, thank you for joining me. Do you want to tell people where they can find you again?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/itsdamoo, It's Damoo TV on TikTok, and It's Damoo on Blueski.
Yeah, and you will see me over on Damo's channel on Friday with many others doing voice acting for Tavern Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where we will hopefully actually finish the main game.
Yes, and then move on to the DLC. I've had multiple yeses, and then I keep getting asked, are we doing DLC? Or are we taking a break? I'm just like, we're doing the damn DLC.
Hey,
sorry, but so many of you guys have said yes to it. I'm like, this is your reminder, we will be doing the DLC as well.
Yeah. People just got to ask though, because you remember, like, literally it'll happen and then like, literally nothing gets spoken about it for a week. Considering everything else that goes on, so. But yes, we hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time for more Metopia. So look forward to seeing more Trouble with Me and the Me's. For me. But yeah, I will catch you all in the next one. So make sure you have all your personal belongings with you, because we're going to be shutting our doors now. Anything that you do not take with you will be used as ammunition or to help recuperate the losses that have been incurred by the goblin janitors in their battle against Inventor.
Yes.
But with that being said, raise your pizzas high and say it with me. Stay chaotic and live for the challenge.
Live a challenge. Ooh.
Bye.
Bye-bye.